The Hustleshare podcast is sponsored by Aspire. Trusted by 15,000 businesses across Asia, Aspire offers a unified suite of financial services, allowing businesses to make fast international payments to 130 plus countries, global payments at the best FX rates, and open multi-currency accounts in US dollars, euros, Great British pound, Singaporean dollars, Indonesian rupiah, and more. All accessible on via a single user-friendly platform, Aspire. Also brought to you by DragonPay. DragonPay is the pioneer in alternative payments in the Philippines. DragonPay is the reigning fintech of the year in last year's Philippine Fintech Festival. Sign up now at www.dragonpay.ph. And also by Digital Bank, a full-spectrum digital bank licensed and regulated by the BSP. Manage your money and maximize its potential growth with a secure and trusted bank that fits right in your pocket. Open a savings or time deposit account, pay bills, shop with the Uno Virtual Debit MasterCard, or apply for a loan in the Uno mobile app today.
So the purpose why we exist is to make financial services simpler, better, and more accessible. So that's a North Star. That's a guiding line.
Okay.
So when the company was incorporated and we were thinking about it, the basic principles we were thinking about it was simpler.
Got it.
Right. There can be many definitions of simpler, easy to understand, less time, very quick, clear, nice and bright colors.
Yep.
There's many definitions of better, faster, better rates,
Right.
lower costs. So we were looking at, and accessible means from any corner, any point, one can have access to a financial services. So that was one way how we were looking at it at a purpose statement.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Baetiong.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Share Podcast. It's a very, very, very special episode because most of the Hustleshare podcasts that I do is audio only. But today we're giving you a treat because this bank is literally killing it. And we're so happy that they invited us over to actually where their office are in the middle of BGC. But without further ado, let's welcome to the show the founder and CEO of Uno Digital Bank, Mr. Manish Bhai. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you, Ron.
And thank you for having us here.
I'm just trying to be like you, but absolutely a pleasure to be out here. And thanks for having me on the show.
No, thanks for having us here. This is an amazing... places like this, I can never stop gazing outside. This is... I don't care how stressed you are. You can easily just look outside and like, we're doing well.
Yeah, this is our strategy room. It's actually where most of the leadership meet, and it has been made for the purpose, yes, that it needs to be a bit more relaxing because sometimes we are here 6 hours on a trot.
Oh my God. And then again, amazing stuff have been built here, products, and I'm pretty sure intense discussions have happened here. But without further ado, I need to ask you the most important question, which is the $1 million question. Manish, what's your hustle?
My designation says I am a CEO, but I call myself, I'm the Chief Execution Officer.
Nice.
So all the time it is just getting things done. The pace in which we are moving, the kind of records we are making for a standalone bank, it's too much is happening on a daily basis. I'm sure by the time we are here finishing this chat, we will have a couple of hundred more customers who have onboarded.
Yep.
So my hustle from morning to night on a non-stop basis is to get things done, to really create a bank, to create products which really change the lifestyle of the people here and take the barometer of financial health much higher in the Philippines.
No, the proof is in the pudding. The product is amazing, and that's not an accident. I always tell it in the show that if you see excellence, that's not an accident because there's someone that actually pushes it. And as a founder and CEO, I know exactly how it feels because the buck stops with you and it starts with you as well. And you set the pace for everybody else to follow. And you guys have been doing an amazing job. Again, shout out real quick. I'll just digress a little bit. Shout out to Shane and Flo, again, who helped us get here from your team, another amazing team. I remember I met Flo in one of the events last year about AI. It's like, wow, you guys are doing an amazing job. We happen to be in the same room. And I said, all right, if I get a chance and there's an opening, I'd love to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, and the team is persistent. So they kept knocking on the doors. They said, hey, Manish, you have to get to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, again, it's way overdue, but I'm finally happy that we got this done. So again, Manish, before we even talk about why you hustle, how you were able to get this done, I need to understand first the origin story of how you were able to get this done. But I need you to buckle up real quick. Okay, because this can be a bumpy ride real quick. All right. Pump your chests out. Because we're going to have to ride the Hustleshare time machine. Back to the origin story of the young Manish. Manish, before we even talk about Uno Digital Bank and the amazing stuff you've done here, I want to understand the origin story. What was it like growing up in India, I assume? And what was your first exposure to hustling that you remember?
As you rightly said, like I grew up in India.
Which city?
Kolkata.
Kolkata, okay.
And I worked in India till 2009.
Wow.
So kind of almost 15 years of my career, though I was traveling quite a bit, but still based there before I stepped out to Southeast Asia. So hustle, I remember, like the hustle was very, like the best hustle I remember in class 5 or 6. I was a very, very average student.
Okay.
And absolutely never used to study.
Okay.
And when the exams come, somehow I used to manage to not only pass but do decently well. So it was very strategic. It was hustle, trying to get past papers. I had into this habit even at grade 6, and managed to do okay in life from there. And one hustle left to the other. I remember getting the first job was a hustle as well. Kind of played poker with a very big offer.
Oh wow!
Which kind of worked out. So yeah. I think the ingrains of to be an entrepreneur were somewhere always there in the DNA. Though finally it took 25 years of working career to take the jump.
Right.
But
so
probably
it was all scratch.
It was always brewing inside.
Yeah, it's right there all along the whole time. But I want to understand. So you said the entrepreneur has always been there, and every entrepreneur always had that inflection point where, all right, it's now or never, we're going to have to take that jump. But those flashes, that's what I want to understand. When you said you're early on, you're going through the motions, average student. But in hindsight, I also went through this and a lot of the guests that we've had here in the show through the years. The skill stack that they would develop eventually helped them out as they took the leap. What were the skills that you remember developing early on, or your inclinations that you're trying to that you liked or you honed your craft on that allowed you to that became useful down the road?
When I look at my career, one thing was very fascinating, that I was doing many different things every 3 or 4 years. So whenever there was a problem, the organization used to pick me and say, hey, why don't you go there? Or why don't you take this new opportunity?
All right.
And it was newer products, newer things, new markets. And I was put in the midst of it, and I was coming out reasonably successful and okay. So probably that whole training, and then when you look at an entrepreneur's life, it is always never steady. There's a lot of ups and downs. There are new situations.
Yep.
And I think it all came in place, right? I started enjoying kind of shocks. Things I was not enjoying things where things are very steady and BAU.
Yes.
You get boring,
right?
And I think it was a culmination of all of this, which finally left to the decision, which was not easy. I've been drawing for it many, many years, but ultimately, culmination of a lot of things helped made the move.
No, and that's perfect because technically, people call it now entrepreneurship. That you're technically an entrepreneur within an organization, and you're doing all these 0 to 1 moments, whether it's a problem that you're trying to solve, opening a new market or whatnot. But that 0 to 1 moment is always an inflection point. Like that will always be that moment where you take risk. And that's at the core of entrepreneurship. And obviously you guys support as a bank now all these entrepreneurs because that's what banks really do well, to support growing businesses. That inflection point really is the trigger to get that done. And for you to be able to do that in multiple cycles, and then I guess the back of your head is like, I'll eventually take this leap event as well. So Manish, what was that experience like in City, and how did that hone you to become the entrepreneur that you are now?
I believe every experience, every day you come to work, every day you do something, it adds to your skill, it adds to your experience. And I was very, very lucky, as I said, to work with multiple people, multiple bosses, colleagues.
Okay.
You said you looked at my LinkedIn. You wouldn't see me spending a very long time
2 years.
in different
2.5 years
in the same unit. So the organization trusted me, and I kept moving and honing kind of different skills. And those skills ranged all about managing complex relationships, very complex products. At one time, I was heading derivatives.
Oh my God!
For a very, very big region. I was head of markets. I was country treasurer.
What?
I ran hedge fund sales for Asia.
Okay.
I looked at institutional sales. So if you look at it, and worked on some M&A deals from the treasury perspective. So if you look at that, I think it gave a lot of confidence in the sense that the path to entrepreneurship might have many surprises, many new learnings. But just by keeping a steady head and going at it and never losing your energy,
Got it.
you should be able to kind of cross, and not only cross, be very, very successful. And that's the hope out here.
Right, and the track record that we've seen here, that you've been again thrown into this new opportunity after new opportunity, means that you succeed every single time. But two things I want to know, right? With every new opportunity comes with a new set of challenges every single time. It's a new opportunity for you to grow. What were the hardest parts that you remember in doing all of these new opportunities that left an indelible mark with you? That you always look back like, I went through that before. I can do this again.
I think the challenges were always understanding the new products. The challenges were understanding the nuisances, the key gaps in the market.
Yep.
Really understanding what you're solving for, what your customer really wants. Looking at things fresh. The challenges with too many moves often happened. You worked with new bosses, new people, so building new relationships,
Yes.
which was a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Most of the time did well. A few times, of course, burned some bridges, which if I have to go back, maybe I'll approach the things differently.
Yeah.
But those were the skills which kind of are coming in handy right now, because every time you reflect on the mistakes which you did.
Correct.
And try to make sure that you don't repeat those in this new life.
That's amazing. Now, last question I want to know before we talk about Uno and the Leap, right? You mentioned, again, new relationships and all these things. And every single relationship, whether it turned out majority well and bad, who are these people that were fundamental to you in helping you become the leader that you are? Because at the end of the day, we learn leadership and entrepreneurship by doing and also seeing our role models. And what did you learn from these people that help you out?
Yeah, the biggest influence was some supervisors, some direct bosses.
You want to do a shout out on them?
Some other seniors. I've already written a LinkedIn article about some of them. So
nice. Okay, check it out.
I think
Manish's LinkedIn.
So one day I thought I owe it to them, and I need to kind of give a shout out to those who really helped. There were some colleagues whom you really look at, some who do much better than you, and then you kind of analyze those qualities and try to pick from them. There were some customers from whom you learn.
Wow, okay.
Right? Like because ultimately they were entrepreneurs. They had reached there, or even if they're not entrepreneurs, professionals who have navigated their ways to real success. And I tried. Like it sounds easy on paper, but with each passing year, you were mature enough to kind of observe and soak in all the good points and try to make sure that you don't repeat the mistakes which some of them did.
Absolutely. Now, this is it. We're going to be talking about the itch, right? So, before we talk about when you took the leap, how far along did you start feeling the itch? And when you talk about the itch, for those people who don't understand what the itch is, every single entrepreneur, is there's that feeling in your gut like, I want to take it on. And majority of the time, the difference between an entrepreneur and a wantrepreneur is the action that you take to take that leap, because it's scary. It really is scary, especially if you came from a really cushy job in a bank-like city. Like, you're set, you're gonna be okay, you have a nice retirement, you're gonna be done for. But what I want to know is, when did you start feeling the itch? And the second thing is, when did you scratch it?
I'm glad you asked this question, because even if you wouldn't have asked, I would have kind of jumped in and talked about it. And it's funny, but you call it itch out here in every language. Look, there is a term for this, because I think this is a very, very common phenomena.
Yeah.
I would say it started 15 years.
Oh, wow, that long ago.
15 years into my career.
Okay.
It started that when I was in Indonesia. It started that I had to do something.
Okay.
And I don't know whether I should be proud or ashamed, but it took 10 more years after that.
Oh, that's a long itch.
To really kind of scratch it very, very strongly. But after 15 years, I had, like, the first time I started exploring about trying to do something on your own. But the good thing in some of these jobs are, there's not without reason that they called it a golden handshake. So I was a managing director, doing well. The compensation was good. There were good bonus. It's not a very easy decision.
Yeah.
Walking out from that and walking out from that lifestyle. So the conviction really needs to grow very, very strong on you. And I believe often it's also a combination of a bit of a pull and a bit of a push that you stop enjoying.
Correct.
What you're doing, at least for my case, that was it. And the business plans went many changes. So what I was trying to do in 2015 was very, very different from what I'm doing right now. But the common theme in every time I try to break out was very, very similar. It was trying to do something very purposeful, from the first idea to what I'm doing right now. And then one fine day, you just said, what the heck, and jumped into it. There's another story to that, but if we have time, we can come to.
We can. We don't have a time slot. We good. This is not on TV. All right. This is on YouTube.
So I went for a course, and I paid a ton of money to go for that course.
Okay.
And there was one question asked out there. And actually, I could have just been at home and answered that question and saved all the money. But it had to be out there. It has to be in the right atmosphere. It is with the right cohorts. And it was a very, very simple question. Imagine it's your last day and you are on the deathbed. What are the top regrets you're going to have? And list down those regrets.
Wow.
And the whole class was made to kind of list out that regret. And I'm just kind of rushing it up. And it was a whole 1.5 hour session. But the crux was that at the end of it was you strike off one by one things which you can't do anything about it. Like it's too late.
That's out of your control.
It's out of your control.
Yeah.
And typically, they have so much of experience, they knew that people will be left with 4 or 5 things on an average. And the professor was conducting the says there are, on an average, people will have 4 or 5 things left because you started with 10.
Okay.
And again, pardon my French, and it was, what the fuck are you doing about it?
Yeah.
If you know that this is your regret on the last day, and for me, trying my hand at entrepreneurship was one.
Yeah.
And so I kind of made my mind that this is what I have to do. But guess what? It still took a couple of years after that. But I think that was the inflection point.
Right.
Towards
that was it. That was the leap right there.
Towards this shit then. And and then it was all about putting things in place, finding the right time, and kind of executing it.
Sounds good. That's such an amazing thing because everybody has that. Again, it's always at the back of your head, right? But that existential question of like, if you're in your deathbed, and what would be your regrets if you say right now? And there are things that you can't control, and you have things that you can still control. You still have the way you can actually turn it out and literally remove it.
It's a very, very simple question. Not many people do it, but done in right seriousness and right setting, it can be life changing. Here you are speaking to someone for whom this has been life changing.
And I already can tell, just because of this anecdote alone, a lot of you entrepreneurs are going to be taking that leap and do founderhood. Now, again, that leap is still blissful up until you hit the first wall on the way down, because entrepreneurship, and especially building startups, is taking a leap off of a cliff and assembling a plane before you hit the ground, and hopefully you don't die in the process. So, okay, I want to understand. So you now have that conviction, you know, that, all right, let's do this. Walk me through how Uno was formed at the first iteration of it, and why this had to be a digital bank.
Actually, when I left City, Uno was not the first idea.
Okay.
So I left City, I'd done my research. So I was clear that I'm going to be in the tech sector.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of industry analysis, choosing a sector which attracted me. I thought I can use technology to do something much more purposeful in many ways. And I saw there's a lot of opportunity, and it's an industry where my assessment was that as an industry, it won't have headwinds for the next 15, 20 years. You'll only get tailwinds.
Yep.
And you wanted to be in an industry which had tailwinds, so that one lesser problem to think of. So very, very quickly with another friend formed a company, a tech company, where we quickly made an acquisition and as well as set up an AI company. Actually, we acquired an augmented reality company,
AR, okay,
and set up an AI conversational chat. The first shoots of kind of, not chatbot, the first shoot of conversational AI, which you are seeing right now. Actually, the theme of our company was intelligence delivered in human-like conversations, which is but this was in 2019. So the company still exists, and very, very quickly these grew to 30-member plus companies each.
Wow, okay.
Within 2019
That's amazing.
itself. But at the same time, they say that probably you can never take a banking out of a banker. So I vividly remember it was a Singapore FinTech Festival.
Okay.
I'm a tech guy right now. Both of these companies, we had our booths in 2019 Singapore FinTech Festival.
Okay.
And there were this multiple of, it was a digital bank wave right then.
Right.
I think we had the V Bank from China and My Bank and some other global developments were happening.
Yep.
But Southeast Asia was a complete white space.
Yes.
This is an area where more than 50% of the people are unbanked.
Right.
Informal sector credit is a big problem. The payments were highly non-digital.
Yep.
Young population, growing smartphone penetration. So the tailwinds are strong. The macro backdrop shows opportunities,
Right.
but it's a white space. No one was talking about
Right. It's wide
digital
open.
banking. So that's one. And my ex-colleague from City, who's the co-founder here at Uno, Kali Das, he was there at the FinTech Festival. And so we just started talking about it. And I have to find that tissue paper. They say a lot of ideas come from that. And it's a real story. So I remember we said, hey, it's too noisy out here. Let's go to Mandarin Oriental because he was staying there.
Okay. And where was it? Where was Singapore FinTech Festival? Was it in Suntec? Where was this?
No, this one already in the expo.
In that. So
In
they were
2000.
far out.
So, yeah, he was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so after that, we went
Okay.
there, and outside that bar, the restaurant on the fourth floor, the third floor,
Okay.
we were chatting, and we took some tissues,
Right.
and that's when we started conceiving the idea of going for a bank. And because I was very high on confidence, I knew banking,
Yep.
and tech was a black box. Not a black box. I like in my role, I had interaction with technology, but it's different when you are running a 60-member team and remotely, and you build it up in a short time frame. So that gave a lot of confidence that, hey, let's look at this. I understand banking, technology. We have a tech company, and let's try it out. So that is how the conversation started. With one conversation led to the another. We came together. We had few more meetings, and again, as I said, the motto which we drive in Uno is let's get things done, like chief execution. I think both Kali and I, the pace in which we move is very, very different. So a conversation which started in November, by December we already knew what we had to do. We had the deck ready, I think, by Jan.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
And we started the process. And then it's a long story. COVID came, but we were engaged with BSP, persistent,
Right.
worked with them.
Right.
And very happy and proud to share that we are the first fintech in the world to get an outright digital banking
That is amazing.
license. So that was fantastic because we got the license first, and the company was incorporated later.
Wow.
So
That's amazing. And again, timing also has to come through. Again, you already knew the macros, you knew the unit economics. You guys are banking vets, so you knew exactly what needs to be done, but also the stars aligned for you guys to be able to swoop that in and take that license even before you incorporated the company.
yeah, and I think everything has to come together because I don't want to sound non-modest, but that 50 years plus of experience between Kali and me, we had a very good handle of what the problem
Absolutely.
of the banking segment, what the problem is out here. So even though we didn't have a bank incorporated out here, I think the concept paper which we wrote
Right.
was very, very thoughtful.
Absolutely.
It looked at opportunities, and you can make the kind of sunshine out of a crisis. So there was COVID, but it gave at least me a very focused opportunity because I couldn't travel to India
Right.
while those operating companies were there.
Of course.
So it gave me a lot of time to kind of really write a good plan for the Uno business over those 3 or 4 months.
That's amazing.
Which definitely helped with our entire licensing and approval process.
Okay.
And happy to share that we have already surpassed what we expected on the plan. Just for reference, we had
That's
said that in 1 year we should have 500,000 customers. Happy to share that within the first year of operations, we have over 1 million customers.
That's
already,
amazing, bro.
so-
What? Within first year.
Within first year, we have. So currently, we have not even touched a year and a half of operations. We are over 1.3 million customers.
Oh my goodness! Again, the veteran that you've been down this road. Such an amazing job. But again, that's just the start. Because all of these things did not happen for a reason. We're gonna do a deep dive of how you got that done when we come back, and we're going to be talking about, again, how they were able to build a team, how we're able to build a product, and of course, everything else in between, and get them in that list of the top banks in force. Well, let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, how are companies like Pizza Hut, Tech in Asia, and Love Bonito saving $28,000 a year? Well, Aspire is an all-in-one finance solution designed for modern businesses. Over 15,000 companies across Asia are using Aspire to streamline business financial processes, saving both time and money. Now, Aspire understands the demand of your business, and these are their offers. Lightning-fast international transfers enabling money movement across 130 plus countries, the best FX rates with no hidden fees ensuring transparency, and multi-currency accounts in US dollars, euros, Great British pounds, Singaporean dollar, Indonesian rupiah, and more, facilitating transactions in multiple currencies. And guess what? Opening an account can be done 100% online, making access to a global business account effortless. Aspire works with thousands of startups across Asia, offering an easy way to open a business account to receive investments from VCs. Aspire is backed by global top-tier VCs including Sequoia and Y Combinator, and has been recognized by CB Insights as one of the top 100 most promising fintechs globally. Join over 15,000 businesses across Asia that have already made the switch to Aspire and experience the future of business finance. For more details, visit aspireapp.com. That's ASPIREAPP.com. Again, that's aspireapp.com. And let's make business finance simple, integrated, and borderless together.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Manish Bhai again of Uno Digital Bank that told us an amazing story. What I love about what you told us prior to the break is the start ambition. It's already ambitious to start like, all right, I want to create a bank. And Digital Bank has said, all right, 500K users within the first year, and you're able to surpass that. So, and also the confidence that you knew you were going to hit it, right? And that's amazing. And that's what great founders do. That you don't wilt away like, oh, okay, I'm just trying to create a company, a cute company. When you have modest, when your dreams are too modest, if you fail, you're going to have shitty results, right? But if you have massive ambition and you do your best and you surround yourself with the right people, that's going to allow you to hit that and do it lean. You're going to do amazing jobs. And that's what I wanted to find out. So, okay, you have your co-founder, right? But you can't do this alone. Right? You guys obviously are the pillars of how this was done. How were you able to amass the right team? And I'm looking at my reference here. I think we're talking about 50 plus people over the past just X amount of months. How were you able to get the right people? And who were the foundational pieces you had to go and build the Uno team here?
So today we are over 200 people.
Wow.
But when we got the license and the approval, a second stage approval from BSP to go ahead, which was in October of 2021.
Okay.
Including my founder, we were just 5 people.
What?
Right.
That's amazing.
So under 5 people, and remember that was a COVID period.
Yep.
Travel was restricted in the country. So again, there's another saying, it might sound cliche, but when the going get tough, the tough gets going.
Absolutely.
But you had absolutely no choice out there. We couldn't travel. So the 50-member team which you referred to, which we put up in the first 3 to 6 months, was completely hired remotely. So out of these 5 people, the initial 5, the 2 were in Philippines. They were also hired remotely.
Okay.
So each and every interview there was
Zoom on Zoom.
Just on Zoom and video calls.
Yep.
WhatsApp calls, and that's how we build the team. First time I could travel into the country was in Feb of 2022.
Wow!
So then it became a bit easier.
Yep.
And we launched the bank again in record time to a public launch within a year of incorporation.
Ooh.
But our tech stack was kind of ready in 6 months and submitted to the regulators for approval.
Right.
So again, the whole motto was get things done, and let's not forget that we are not part of any conglomerate or any institution or any sister bank. Each and every policy had to be written from scratch, and we are not living in an era that you can just move around taking a policy on pen drives. That era was 10 years back. So everything, the team had to come together. They had to write everything. So everything of this bank, which you see, is right from scratch.
Amazing.
No copy paste, which has its pros and cons. The cons were a lot of work. Sometimes it's not perfect. But the pros were that people actually wrote without copying pasting, right? They wrote the right controls, the right checklist, which allows us to kind of look at processes afresh.
Right. Now, again, coming from experience, I've done hyperscale, not this crazy, and also, but I've done in around 2020, 2021, when I was scaling Podcast Network Asia, we went from 5 shows to 230 podcasts.
Wow, that's amazing.
To become the biggest in Southeast Asia. And my God, everything broke. Every time we grow multiples of 3 and 10.
Tell me more.
So I want to understand, and you give light. So you obviously we know the finished product. You were able to ship the product fast. You were able to hit the goal, hit the target. But what are the hardest parts trying to get there? And how did you reel the team? And what are the things that you learn?
No, you have hit the nail on the head. Almost every day, even today, we take a decision between product quality, speed,
HR.
time to launch. Should we delay? Should we push ahead? And that's what makes the role interesting. It's always on the tender hooks. It's always you're in execution mode. It's always you're taking a decision. And there are learnings. Like if I have to do it again, would I do slightly differently? Yes, you would do slightly differently. But I think as a team, we believe that high execution, even incorrect action, is better than inaction.
Correct.
We have to be careful because we have a fiduciary responsibility. We are dealing with people's funds. So of course, those checks, balances, and controls are there.
Of course.
But as a strategy, as a team, we are not aiming for perfection on day one. We are aiming more for solution and making an impact in people's life and push out products quicker, faster. And then over the next 1 or 2 years, kind of learn from experience, tweak it, and improvise it. Because we believe with the pace of tech developments today, one shouldn't be spending too much of time on perfection because technology changes too fast. So I'll digress and give an example. So we took a bit of time and we got delayed in implementing our chatbot. But today, guess what? I'm smiling and I'm happy. Because if we would have implemented the chatbots, they would have been already version XXX. Today, like ChatGPT is coming out with a new version every 15 days.
Right.
So how much tech has advanced?
Yeah.
So that's the philosophy we follow. That's why I hear you. I sympathize with you, or you sympathize with me when you say everything was broken. Things get broken when you're moving in this space. But that's our job to have it fixed and then move on.
Hold it on together to make sure that it don't unravel further. But again, super duper impressive what you've done. But can you just expound further on the product and what were the key features you wanted to? Because there's so many things that you can launch with, and one of the great feats of a great founder is figuring what to ship first. Because you can ship so many features. Some of them are core, some of them are not. But how do you get that done in line also with the metrics that you wanted to hit?
Let me use this opportunity to also share our purpose and a mission because it helps bring everything together.
Okay.
So the purpose why we exist is to make financial services simpler, better, and more accessible. So that's our North Star. That's our guiding line.
Okay.
So when the company was incorporated and we were thinking about it, the basic principles we were thinking about it was simpler.
Got it.
Right. There can be many definitions of simpler, easy to understand, less time, very quick, clear, nice and bright colors.
Yep.
There's many definitions of better, faster, better rates,
Right.
lower costs. So we were looking at, and accessible means from any corner, any point, one can have access to a financial services. So that was one way how we were looking at it at a purpose statement.
Okay.
And then our mission was to provide one trusted platform to make all your financial services available at one place. That is your savings, your borrowings, your transactions, your protection, that is insurance, and your investments.
Got it.
So when we looked at all this, I said, what's most important to the people? What's the entry point? The entry point is that in a country at that time when we were talking about only 30% people having a banking account and less than 50% people having a formal sector, formal financial account, the first step was to get them a bank account.
Yep.
That's the prime. At least have a bank account and get them to a culture of savings and digital payments. And this was aligning very well with BSP's objectives in that time. And even right now, that is, if you remember, the ex-BSP's governor objective was to take the payments, digital payments, to 50%, and it was still below 15% at that time.
Wow. Yeah.
So we aligned ourselves to what we thought was the gap in the market, what fitted with our purpose and mission, and what the people really wanted. So we launched with a savings account.
Okay.
We launched with innovative products out there. That's the differentiation, how you differentiate with tons and tons of other banks.
Yep.
So we launched a term deposit product on day one.
Wow.
And our term deposit product had two unique features, which currently were not available in the country, and some of them are still not there. So one, we're the only bank who put a digital bank who put a kind of online 2-year term deposit on day one when we launched. And we created a product which it's a term deposit, but it gives you monthly earnings. So we kind of positioned it like, say you have surplus 1 million pesos, and you can keep it into this kind of a savings account.
Right.
It does, and put it in the name of, say, your son.
Okay.
Or keep it on a side pocket. It not only gives you a financial security that you have a 1 million peso or 200,000, whatever it is there, but it gives you a monthly earning, which can be, say, your pocket money for your child, or it can be your monthly earning for giving yourself a bit of treat.
Right. Exactly.
Or to
It's
buy,
like getting a salary already.
or buying a small product for the house, like like something small, right? But so because that's extra income. So that's
and
how
it's passive in nature.
so that kind of product wasn't there, which is a term, because most of the term deposit in the countries which still today are like standard term deposits. You get a lump sum of money at maturity.
And they lock it in.
You lock it in. So that's how we went about like constructing. And similarly, we made sure that the basic payments are there on day one. You have a virtual debit card. You have ability to pay your electricity bill, to your mobile bills.
Yep.
So that it's not that someone who comes to the app just gets restricted. Oh, I come to Uno, this is only good for savings. We will expand to the full suite. But at the very beginning, our approach was to make it at least self-sufficient for basic purposes. If you keep the money out there, you should be able to use that to buy stuff on a debit card. You should be able to use it to pay bills. You should be able to use that to transfer money to someone else.
I mean, you already earned money out of the technically the dividends of putting that money. And if you're on the same platform, you can easily take action.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I love it. I love the simplicity. Again, I get it. Because it's a reflection now what you envision, and also what the North Star with the team reflects in the product. And it's easier to not just execute, but you can already tell, like, I made money, boom, use right away.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, what I want to understand too is that, again, in fintech companies, you cannot be a pariah. You cannot build on your own. You need the right partners to build around your product around. Who are the key partners that you had to work with to actually help you propel, achieve your goals?
So I'll talk that in two parts. I will talk about the partners which were needed initially, and And I also want to talk about our product enhancement journey, because what I spoke about, that was just at launch. And
0 to 1.
The pace which we are moving, as I said, is 18 months since then. So a lot of water has flown under the bridge. There's a lot new innovation, many new things have come, and we take pride in some of the things which we are doing we are the first ones in the country to do it. But on the product, on the partners, again, the partnership approach was dual. It was tech partners, which everyone needs, right? You definitely, our approach was build and buy, a mix of build and buy, because in today's environment, you really build your IP, you build your orchestration, you build your experience. That is your IP. But you buy off-the-shelf products, which are just the processors, which are just the storage engines, which are core platform. You don't need to kind of build that.
Correct.
So we worked and got number of key partners. Some notable ones I can shout out here is, of course, AWS.
Shout out, of course.
Mambu, MasterCard, iExceed, HPS for our card management system, Oracle.
Of course.
So this so those partners, and we did a lot of development. But more important to that was our strategy of penetration in the market, because we are a standalone bank. So unlike many other of our competitors who have a home advantage of a home ecosystem,
Right.
we didn't have that advantage.
Yep.
So our approach was, hey, the whole country is our ecosystem.
Correct.
The fintech industry is our ecosystem.
Makes sense.
Everything which is happening in Manila is our ecosystem.
Right.
And that's how we went about it. And very, very quickly, we forged partnerships with like GCash, with Ankas,
Yep.
Vansari,
Yep.
Mr. DIY, just to name.
No, I love it. And again,
And-
shout out to Flo, because Flo is literally going hand in hand with me. Like, Ron, can you intro me to this startup? You're very, very aggressive in working with the whole, again, ecosystem. You don't have biases on like our home turf only here, blah, blah, blah. To really get my product
So
to
our
market.
disadvantage, we turned it to our advantage. We said, listen, we are professionals. We are here. We are fair and square players. The whole market is our ecosystem.
Yeah.
Everyone's a possible partner.
Right.
And that's the approach. We are here to do good business. We are here to make meaningful products. We are on a purpose of improving financial inclusion and financial health. And anyone with the same objectives, let's work together.
That's amazing.
So that's how we progress. Now cut to the part 2. So today we have a full-fledged lending proposition in the sense that we target both salaried individuals and MSMEs.
Yep.
Where Flo is focusing on
Shout out, Flo.
MSMEs. The products which are live are unsecured personal loans, which are loans for consumption or for buying equipment. For MSMEs, we are supporting them for the working capital. For salaried, we are supporting them, as I said, home renovation, education, emergency, any other form of consumption. And we are in the process of launching consumer durable finance. So you walk into the store, you want to buy that air conditioner, or you want to buy that mobile phone,
Right.
or you have access to credit. So, and we have few other products in the development which will be wrapped before the end of the year, and I don't want to talk about it over here purposely.
Just looking at the pace that you guys have done, it's just a matter of time.
so I want to keep that excitement on. And so there is always a book of works. There is a pipeline.
Yeah.
Every couple of months to come up with something new. So today, what we have operational is full-fledged savings, payments. Of course, transactions are there. We have loans. And now comes to the interesting part. We are the first digital bank to have launched insurance.
What?
So on our app, you can go and buy insurance.
What type of insurance?
This is your protection, accident protection insurance, health, 3-in-1.
Nice.
Low tickets helps any individual. You can buy a daily insurance, you can buy a monthly insurance, you can buy an annual insurance product. Simpler products, but the offering is going to get expanded on a monthly basis. In this country, the insurance penetration is very, very low. You'll be surprised. It is just 1.6%.
Yep.
And there's a lot to be done. So we are playing our part, at least to this 1 million+ customers which we have on board, to start influencing them and educating them that they should have some form of protection in their portfolio.
Filipinos like to take risks, the wrong type of risk though. The risk that puts your life in peril just in case. But last question before we take our last break. Okay, so obviously you mentioned that you had a disadvantage of not having a parent bank as well. Now, in that said, in order for you to be able to muster enough resources and get that done, you need to do fundraising. How were you guys able to do the initial and subsequent fundraising to get this done? Of course, the funding from the bank for the deposits came through, but as an institution, as a company, as a startup, you had to do fundraising. What was that process like?
So we have to put our money where the mouth is. To start with, a lot of initial capital has been put by the two founders, me and my co-founder, directly. And I think that was the biggest endorsement to many professional funders. That these are the guys who leave their jobs. They are setting things up. They've taken their own skin in the game. And that's the starting point. And then we are very, very thankful to many partners, many supporters, many private equities, VCs. We have a good diversified set of funders. We have till date raised over $75 million. What? And we have an interesting mix of people who support our vision and have been very supportive till date.
Got it. All right. Now let's take our last break, and when we come back, we will now talk about more accolades and what's up next for those people that also are interested to, again, if you're not yet sold, I don't know what's wrong with you, but this is pretty awesome. Uno Digital Bank. But we'll talk about that more after the break.
Hey Hustlers, it's time to talk business once again, and we're excited to share a bit more info about our sponsor, Sprout Solutions. And again, just like what I said at the start of the episode, you should check out Sprout's Payroll Starter as you grow your own startup. Because this bundle that they have is literally what you need to take your startup to the next level as you grow your employees. And this bundle is your key to freedom, including payroll outsourcing to experts, a subscription to timekeeping and attendance software, and government compliance services. Sprout's Payroll Starter has you covered for payroll, BIR, SSS, and taxes. All the stuff that no founder loves to do. So let Sprout handle the busy work and say goodbye to lines and tax payment stress. All this for as low as 5,000 pesos. Again, that's just 5,000 pesos all in for your payroll and HR needs. So visit sprout.ph payroll-starter-monthly-5K, or again, just click the link in the description box of this episode to elevate your business management game. And again, big thank you to Sprout Solutions, liberating your time for what truly matters. Hey Hustlers, wish there was an easy way to open a bank account and grow your money without the hassle of lengthy application process and income documents? Well, I got good news, because today's sponsor, Uno Digital Bank, is here to help you achieve your financial goals. You can easily open an account with the Uno app in just 5 minutes and one valid ID. And as one of the 6 digital banks licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the company is committed to providing customers with simpler, better, and more accessible banking. Last year, Uno Bank was recognized by the Asia Banking and Finance Awards and bagged the title Open Banking Initiative of the Year due to the success of its partnership with GCash, one of the Philippines' leading mobile wallet platforms. And with the Uno mobile app, you can access an #UnoReady savings account and enjoy daily interest crediting. With their #UnoEarn or #UnoBoost time deposit accounts, you can enjoy a high interest rate of up to 6.5% per annum. Enjoy monthly payouts with #UnoEarn and flexible tenors with #UnoBoost. Other app features include pay bills, the Uno Virtual Debit MasterCard, life insurance, scan and pay with QRPH, and phones. And the one thing that I really love about Uno Digital Bank is they're open to collaborate with a lot of Filipino startups. I've had a chance to see the partnerships that they've had lined up with the startups that they have, and it's truly exciting to see how a digital bank like Uno can enable startups to unlock the power of fintech through digital banking. So if you're ready to elevate your banking experience, download the Uno mobile app today from the Google Play Store or App Store. Or if you want to collaborate with them, I'll be happy to give you an intro. Just shoot us an email at hello@hustleshare.com.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Manish Bhai, then told us the amazing story of how they were able to build product, build the team, and everything else at the same time. Now, again, at the end of the day, this is all about the foundational pieces of what we're doing in Uno Digital. 18 months. Oh my God, you guys have done so much already. I can just imagine what the next 18 months is going to be. It's exciting and scary at the same time, how the pace that you guys are operating in. Again, that's a testament to you guys as the founders and the co-founders to do this. But Manish, I want to understand one couple more things. First off is, again, you have a profound impact in the fintech ecosystem in the Philippines. Well, is that by accident? And what was the strategy all along when you came in? Because again, everybody's your ecosystem. You said that the whole country is the ecosystem. Well, what is the intentionality that you have in making a profound impact in the ecosystem here?
The impact would be on two fronts primary. There could be multiple. But the two front is, one is a conscious strategy where we are seeking out partners.
Yep.
And I use the word partners. I'm not saying vendors or agents, because partners means it's a two-way relationship.
Yep.
And when we are looking at these partners and getting into it, it's a win-win, which is being kind of created.
Symbiotic.
It's kind of 1 + 1, which goes to 11. So say, for example, if I have to talk about a partnership with, say, Gcash. So it enables a lot of wallet customers in a very quick time. Someone with average familiarity can open an account within 2 minutes.
Wow.
A bank account. And we did a recent survey where 27% of the people said that Uno has been their first bank account ever.
Ooh, that's literally banking the unbanked.
So this makes us feel very, very proud.
Absolutely.
So I think beyond the stats, I don't need to say much. That's the impact on. And the impact is it's a win-win. If you look at our partner, Gcash has been able to up-tier their customers. A decent proportion of this is also coming from Gcash. So they have been able to up-tier their customers to having a bank account.
Yep.
And we have been able to kind of make someone who just had an access to a wallet account to be a complete, more comprehensive end-to-end banking customers. Similarly, with another partner, Ankas, we delivered bikes to their riders. And it was an aspirational product where the top riders were able to upgrade, get the bike of their choice.
Wow.
So it's a win-win impact where Ankas was able to deliver a superior product, reward their best drivers, and we were able to work with the partners and kind of create new demand and new financial inclusion. But apart from that, again, there are many players out here in the ecosystem who have been our tech partners, who have been our vendors plus, or where we are using the services, because to run the bank, we are now doing AML, KYC, SMS services, fraud services. On a monthly basis, we are doing 200,000 transactions, and this excludes the transactions between just the Gcash wallet and Uno. That could be another million. Now, if you look at all of these and you quantify, it has led to a collaborative growth of the entire fintech system. So the impact beyond the stage gets into a compounding calculation. is as I said, is no longer a simple addition.
And that's amazing. Just again, just from the get-go, you're not predatory in your nature. And let's just call it what it is. There's some partners, as they grow bigger, they're like, we're the big dog. We get the lion's share, or you get the short end of the stick. What I love about the mindset of how you guys really started from day one, coming from the founder itself, is that we're here to do 1:1 equals 11, or it's a 2. It's equals. It's symbiotic. No taking advantage.
Absolutely. As I have always maintained, we are here to do business. We are here to make impact. We look everyone as a potential partner. And between the 6 digital banks, we often talk. We could be competing, but there is a strong partnership among us. And again, digressing. So 6 of us are working together to kind of create a fraud database where we share information. Now that's the best example of partnership. Like we have our competing strategies, but at the same time we all are partnering.
Correct. Wow.
And I think it's not only me, the new generation, the newer age fintechs, all are increasingly having that mindset. There's a huge untapped market. The wallet side is huge. There's enough for everyone to do. And there are much more benefits in collaboration than mindless competition.
That is amazing. Now, again, one thing that I want to zoom in, you're talking about digital banks, right? Globally, it typically takes digital banks 5 to 7 years to reach break even, right? And at the current pace that you're in, I'm literally just reading these facts here. Uno Digital Bank is on track to achieve profitability in the first 3 years of operations. That's crazy. And how are you able to get this done and making it lean while you're still super aggressive?
With Kali and me both being ex-bankers with working in organization where there was very high focus on profitability in addition to growth. I think that's part of our DNA which we have carried over out here. Though in the new age fintech, it's about growth, and which is reflected in the massive growth of our customer base and of our lending base. So loans is a product which we launched much later, just a few months back, and we have already crossed 100,000. We have touched the lives of 100,000 people whom we have lent money. So I think it's just kind of putting those all things together is how we have been able to approach this.
That is amazing. Now, again, this is not an accident. I keep saying this because one thing I wanted to let you guys know is this year, Uno Digital Bank is part of the list of Forbes Best World Banks 2024. I want to understand, Manish, what's the significance of this, to be part of this list? Because not everybody just gets part of this list. It's not like, oh, everybody's part of this list. Congratulations. You guys are on this list. It's, again, a recognition of the amazing job that you guys have done. Talk about the significance of this. How does this impact Uno Digital Bank and what you guys do?
Yeah, we are very happy first with this recognition, and thank you, Forbes, and thank you, Statista, for having this recognition. Traditionally, to get into a list like this, it takes years and years of legacy.
Absolutely.
And within the first year to get into the list, and clearly, I'm sure everyone took notice of the work which we are doing, and the survey spoke about it in the sense that within a year we were able to touch the lives of so many people when it comes to getting them access to a bank account. We were able to touch the lives of so many people when it comes to borrowing.
Yep.
And I think we have been talking about this. I didn't complete my earlier question on path to profitability. Like banks typically take 5 to 7 years, not even 5-7. And we are again very, very focused, running a lean shop, trying to do more. And I think I think the organizations and external parties, when they're reviewing us, they're also looking at those numbers. They're looking at comparisons.
Right.
And I think they tend to believe that there is some sense in how these guys are approaching business and trying to hit those profitability benchmarks. and again, product distribution benchmarks. So I think it's a combination of all these things which has helped us get that recognition. At the same time, it puts the pressure on us that next year we
Such a high bar.
we already start with 6, so it's a squeeze up there, and we have to move up.
Wow, that's amazing. Again, you're such a high bar, but again, testament to the excellence that you've done. But I'll just pivot with a couple of questions as a founder, because a lot of the people that listen to Hustleshare are, again, founders themselves who are going to be potentially good partners for you guys as you build that ecosystem around. That's why you guys supported us. Again, thank you for that. But Manish, you have done this 0 to 1 process for so long with it when you were still working in City, and now you've done it. What are the lessons that you can impart to those people who are still in that precipice of should I jump and whatnot? Aside from, of course, the existential question of what they would regret, how would you guide them to take that leap?
Having done that, speaking much on this, it sounds easier, sounds preaching. But I think it's absolutely what I said earlier. I would just ask people to do a quick check that if they don't do this, and assuming it to be a last day of life, will they regret it? And if the answer is yes, I think they should just do it. First, make the jump. Of course, one has to be careful about a bit of timing. Of course. 2 or 3 years plus, have to look at the financials. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing, and this is in your regret list, absolutely just do it. The second advice, which I would give, again, lot of founders will talk about product market fit and strategy, and of course all that is important. I'm assuming that's given. I completely agree with that. You have to do your proper homework. You just can't go and launch things just because you think it would be successful. But just jumping the gun beyond all that, I would say that the differentiation ultimately lies in execution.
Yes.
And I would say that you have to go into relentless execution. That's one piece of advice. Absolutely relentless.
That is amazing. Now, last question before we wrap this baby up. Let's just say I gave you the keys to the Hustleshare time machine again, Manish. But now you can do Back to the Future and talk to the younger you. Right? What would be your advice to the young Manish who's probably just graduated college? I think you're just average. You said you were just doing average stuff. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Why the hell you didn't do it when you were just 15 years into your work?
Jump sooner.
That's the advice. I wish I had done it 8 or 10 years earlier.
Again, it's again hindsight being 2020, but you're right in the thick of it now, and you're absolutely killing it. Thank you very much for such an amazing episode. I hope you had a great time.
Great.
But again,
thank you, Ron.
But before I let you go, invite people over. What they should look out for Uno Digital Bank, and if they want to work with you, and again collaborate, and then again download the app or sign up. Where did they go, and how did they do that?
For anyone who wants to be a customer of Uno, straight away, go to Apple Store, Play Store, download the app. It's very, very easy. You can. It's available in both the stores. Absolutely easy. In single-digit time, you should be able to become a customer. For the ecosystem players there, the partners, absolutely just reach out to me or anyone on the team. Very, very open to doing business. We are already speaking to multiple partners. We have multiple deals live, and always looking for an opportunity which is win-win.
Absolutely. And again, if you need intros, if you want to work with them, happy to break that bridge with you. And again, Manish, thank you very much. But before I let you go, follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to it, at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you did say some jargon, don't worry. It's going to be the show notes on hustleshare.com. And lastly, if you want to support Hustleshare and doing content like this, please do subscribe at premium.hustleshare.com. Again, Manish, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.